exciting update. I just booked tickets to Budapest for next week. My parents are in Budapest right now. They just like extremely spontaneously, maybe like 2 days before I left for Sweden or something, were like, we're going to Budapest. I was like, okay. So I am going to meet them there next Thursday through Sunday. So exciting. I haven't been back to Budapest since 2016. Oh my God, 10 years ago? What the fuck? Yeah, okay, well, I haven't been to Budapest in 10 years, so this will be fun. But last time I was there, it was summertime. So now we'll get to be there in the winter time. And also maybe it will be a little bit warmer than it is here in Stockholm, which would be actually kind of nice. Little refreshing, you know, sun holiday in Budapest. No, it's gonna be raining. Let's see. Actually, I'm gonna look at the weather now. Oh my God, it's gonna be positively Mediterranean. It'll be 47 degrees, which on the day that I arrive, it'll be like in the low to mid 40s. Wow, I might be too hot in my coat. That for my European friends is like 7 degrees Celsius. So it'll be lovely. It'll be lovely and temperate. Meanwhile, in Stockholm, it will be 27, which is like -2 or 3. Anyway, I'm excited to go to Budapest, and I'm excited to see my parents. I think this is gonna be so fun. And they're staying at some like cute little hotel, and I was looking online to see if I could book a room there, and it said that they didn't have any rooms. And then my dad just went down and spoke to the reception, and they have a room for me at 70 euros a night, which is great. So I'm excited. Yay! It just feels like, yeah, it's nice to go back to Budapest. And I have a lot of family there, so hopefully I'll get to see some of them or even meet some of them, because it's like extended family. Yay, I'm excited. Not gonna lie, yeah, that's just giving tundra right now. It's beautiful. It looks like a Bruegel painting, kind of. But I definitely think I'm a wee bit underdressed on the legs in particular. So I don't think I'm going to be out for very long. And you can see I got full hood up action, which is, I think, the first time I've done that. People are cross-country skiing out there. I don't really want to turn around so soon, but I think in the interest of not freezing, I will probably head back in just a second. Because it's freaking cold out here, especially with the wind chill, like, coming across the big plains and stuff. Well, that was a rather quick little jaunt. Going home to have some lunch, and then I've got to launch some stuff for work today. So I'm gonna go do that. So fun. I'm going to Index for a reading and a performance. Huzzah! Nothing like getting home and realizing you're walking around looking like this. Okay, hello. Just got back from being out. My hair is an insane tangled tumbleweed. Phew. Anywho, it's kind of a funny joke. Anywho, I just got home from this reading / performance. Thought-provoking at times, less so at other times. That's just the way that it goes, you know. But I was taking notes, thinking my thoughts, But afterwards, let's talk about afterwards. Afterwards, I was waiting for the bus. I was listening to some really good music, like techno kind of good music. And it's Friday night, people are out and walking around. It's like 8:30 p.m. So people are out and about on the town, and I didn't have anywhere to go, but I was just enjoying my music, you know? I don't know why, there's just something right about listening to that kind of like heavy, kind of like hypnotic techno in the dark. And I think one of my interesting reflections over the past couple of weeks is the ways in which I do or do not think about my life in San Francisco. Like, obviously on Instagram stories, I'm seeing people posting stuff about SF, and it's not like I've forgotten about SF in any way. Like, it's still it's present. But I think the big difference is that when I'm in San Francisco, there's this underlying layer of my brain that's often occupied by like imagining what's happening in Stockholm or what it would, I don't know, like I'm sort of like mentally navigating this other place while being very far away. And now that I'm here, I feel like that mental noise has quieted a bit, and it's like there's this layer of real satisfaction and alignment, because I don't think about San Francisco in the same way. It's like I can think about San Francisco, know that it exists, sort of like envision navigating its streets or places and have a general sense of what's going on there right now, but it's not like a desire or a craving. I feel like I can compare the two, but kind of like set it to the side. And following up on that thought, I think, so I was sitting on the bus listening to my music, and then this older man asked if he could take the empty seat next to me, and I was like, yeah, of course. And there was another moment of like real satisfaction watching the dark city pass in this full bus on a Friday night. The like human to human acknowledgement of like, yeah, of course you can take that seat, and seeing people's faces and hearing conversations and phone conversations and stuff. I felt so, I just had this little sweet, satisfied feeling and a smile on my face that no one can really touch or understand, because it's so intrinsically linked to something that I can't even really articulate like why it's there, but it is, which is like this desire to be here. And it made me think about being suspicious of comfort and the pleasure that comes from comfort, because I feel like when I was thinking about like, oh, what would the parallel moment to this be in San Francisco, it made me think about moments where I've ridden on the bus or the train or been walking around the neighborhood or something and felt this sort of like inner sense of satisfaction. But that sense of satisfaction has almost always come from familiarity or like comfort, I think. Like in San Francisco, I feel like I'm very known and I'm very placed in a community, not just like, oh, like art community, but like literally like a neighborhood. I recognize people, I see people, I'm like very in my neighborhood. And so there's a really like small feeling to it that can be really satisfying. It's almost like cozy, like you feel like you're like a little like snug as a bug in a rug or whatever, like you're like a little animal in your little thing, and you're like you're a little animal in your little den, and you kind of like know every corner of your den. I think that's where I feel satisfaction in San Francisco, is like the extent of the familiarity that I feel there. And I think that that's that feeling that has often held me back from leaving because I worry about the loss of that familiarity. But I think being here and satisfying this other thing, which is like the desire to stretch oneself out and seek something else, it's like so important to follow that desire and follow that impulse. And I do actually think that like that impulse happens at sort of like an intuitive layer. Like I feel like I've never really been able to explain or clarify like what is it specifically that appeals to me about being here, but there's something about the darkness, or even like tonight as I was walking home. I mean, today it felt cold, but tonight somehow it felt today it felt really cold. Like the wind as I went for my walk was pretty biting and I was just like, I need to go home. But tonight maybe the wind had died down or something and it felt more calm and it felt nice to be out, and it felt like I acknowledge that, like, yeah, there's some level of discomfort that comes from being in the cold, or like it's not easy to be in this temperature, but at the same time, like, I feel so happy to be in it. Like, I feel so satisfied to be in it. Difficulty of being here, I find rewarding and gratifying because it's a difficulty that I've wanted or felt curious about or sort of sought to draw nearer to. Sorry, that became Swinglish. You cannot like perpetually stay in the new unless you're like constantly moving around, which is exhausting. And I also don't even think that that like really gets at the heart of what I'm saying. But I think maybe the heart of what I'm saying, yeah, is don't be seduced by comfort and take very seriously the sort of intuitive impulses that you have. Excuse the cringe, but like from a soul level, I don't know, I wish there was a better word to describe this, but like from your innermost self, when you have these inklings or sort of like intuitions of desire and you can't intellectually explain where they come from, it doesn't matter. You just need to heed them and follow and explore. That's what's so important. You have to listen to yourself. You must listen to the imperatives of the soul. You must. Okay, now I will go eat the lasagna that I just bought. Goodbye. Good morning. I'm on my way to meet my friend for a coffee at Crumb Heaven. Hey, Dom. It is such a beautiful day. Completely blue sky. It feels practically like summer. I mean, not actually, but closer. It is Sunday at, it's a little past 2 p.m. It's snowing. It says it's 22 degrees out, but it feels like 14. I have been very tired today, but I'm rallying to go meet my friend Berta for a little fika moment out in Johanneshof at a place that looks very cute, so that will be nice. Yesterday I got lunch with my friend Sjoerd, my Dutch friend, and that was nice, but then I did get very kind of like tired, overwhelmed at the end, and I just needed to like come home and rest for the rest of the evening. And then I think actually I have a suspicion that I had this black tea with lunch and I feel like it made me anxious for the rest of the day. Like I actually had a hard time sleeping and kind of was having like stressful dreams. So I'm going to try very hard to not intake any caffeine today and just kind of remain calm. Other than that, I'm feeling a bit behind on schoolwork. Tomorrow I think I need to focus on reading tomorrow and Tuesday, so maybe I'll go to the library tomorrow and Tuesday and kind of focus up, because I feel like I've been neglecting that a little bit, but in general things are fine. I'm looking forward to my trip to Budapest, looking forward to a little bit warmer weather, and yeah, that's all. Can't tell if I'm just like physically tired or if this is like unsure. Not much more to add. Okay, bye-bye. Hello. God morgon. God morgon. Det är tisdag idag Och jag har faktiskt ganska mycket kvar att läsa till imorgon faktiskt. Återigen har jag lämnat lite mycket kvar för mig själv att läsa klart på sista dagen innan vi typ börjar om kursrutinen, eller ja, jag har min föreläsning imorgon. Jag ska till campuset. Det är planen. Jag lagade lite fiskpinnar till frukost som är lite pinsamt för att, eller ja, det är konstigt, men ibland vill jag bara ha riktigt mat på morgonen. Och jag faktiskt var jättemorgontrött i morse och ville inte ta mig utifrån sängen. Men då tänkte jag har fiskpinnar i kylskåpet och jag kan käka dem till frukost, och det gjorde mig så peppad att jag typ sprang ut ur sängen. Så ibland är det riktigt nice att ha någonting att se fram emot till, även om det är fiskpinnar till frukosten. Ja då, jag ska käka nu och då bara sätta igång dagen. Oj, ja hej. Jag ville bara notera lite grann att inte varje dag, men just nu känner jag, oj, men jag gör det här för riktigt. Och det känns kul. That feels like it's been such a long day. I've been at the humanistiska föreningen literally since like 11 this morning, and it's now 3:30, and I've just been reading the whole day and taking notes, and my brain feels fried. So fried. But I met some new people today, which was nice. I really like it there, as I've said. But yeah, it's so nice. I think like going back to school as an adult, and I say adult meaning, you know, I graduated my bachelor's and have since then been working for the last 8 years. But yeah, I think being back in a school context like this, I feel so like aware of the privilege of having the time and the space, like actual physical space, dedicated to studying, and having this be like what I'm supposed to be focusing on in a day. Oh my god, I'm sorry. This footage is incredibly bumpy. 1 second. Yeah, okay, as I was saying, I think being an adult and having worked for the last 8 years since graduating from university, I feel like the distinct privilege of having the time and the space dedicated to study. And I actually am glad that I am only taking one course, because I do think it gives me the time to try to focus as much as I properly can, or as much as I can properly on the readings. Even so, like, I feel like I'm skimping on some of them, and that's just my fault, because I still haven't quite like grasped the actual time needed to dedicate to completing these readings. But yeah, like having the space to go somewhere, wow, look at the beautiful light, to go somewhere and do these readings and have that be what I need to be focusing on. That's something that I've wanted for so long, and it's something that I've done independently, but like never with a lot of consistency, because it'll just be like, you know, it comes and goes. I'm like reading stuff, but I have no like driving reason to be reading and thinking about these things. So it just feels so extremely good to have this like really concentrated time and like routinized time that is actually dedicated to me going somewhere and reading something and not like checking my email and doing other shit. I had such a fun day today. I went to class and it feels like all these friendships are really starting to like click into place in a really sweet way. Honestly, class felt like pretty long and boring and we only had one break and we were just really getting through the material of the lecture because this is like our last big like content push, and then this upcoming week we're going to be like discussing our paper topics in groups, and then the next week we don't have class and we're submitting our midterm paper. So just felt like a lot of content and stuff, but it felt fun. Like it feels like I said, it feels like these friendships are starting to kind of click into place, even the like more outer edge one. Then after class I went with my friend Short to get some lunch at Gamla Orangeriet, and that was so nice. I was not aware that cafe by like at Accelerator is so nice, but it was great. And then our other friend Greta came to join us, and we were just, I mean, it was so fun. I think we were at that cafe from like noon until like 3:30 or something, so we were in there for a long time, just like talking about all sorts of different things. Afterwards we like went up to Gula Villan and I like showed them around and was like, okay, you guys like get your membership so we can all hang out here. And then afterwards we were like walking all through the library, just like looking at stuff, because then Short hadn't been to the library, and we all got on the train. But it was just like so fun, and I feel like I have this one video that I took of us where I'm just like laughing, like giggling, and I think that feels like the theme of the day. Like it feels so sweet and so special to make new friends like this. Like it just feels like incredibly precious to be doing this and getting to make friends who are interested in what I'm interested in, and like feels like a sort of fun, like lighthearted, not childish, but like childlike kind of playfulness. And again, I know I talked about this, I think probably in one of the most recent clips that was from yesterday, about how grateful I feel to be doing this, but like I just want to reiterate how aware I am of how special this is, because I really feel like this is something that I've been like longing for many years, and basically like since I left school, I think this has been something that I've been missing. You know, I'm still doing my job, and like my friend Greta also works, like Short is not gonna be here for forever, so it feels like this is all like I'm very aware that this is a fleeting and special moment that I need to just like enjoy. I want to feel as grateful as I can and as like present as I can for this time, because it feels really sweet and it's really what I wanted, and I think it feels really like special to be able to live what I wanted to have like made this happen for myself, and feel like I'm really not disappointed, you know, like I'm making these lovely friends. It feels so refreshing, and I'm like definitely being intellectually challenged and stimulated by the class and all the readings and stuff, and there's really this different sense of like community and place and routine that I'm really benefiting from at school. And it just, I think it's like so special and wonderful to find yourself in the company of people who are really like not only interested in what you're interested in from like a subject matter perspective, but also like interested in similar life choices to what you're interested in. I don't know, I feel like there's just such a like recognition, like recognize like kind of a
thing, and it feels really special to make friends who are obviously like new to you, and they're totally like have led different lives and from backgrounds and stuff, but like they're immediately recognizable to me as like, oh, you're my kind of person, like you are the kind of person that I want to be friends with. And it definitely like opens up my sense of possibility, because I'm like, what else? Like, you know, I feel like my links to San Francisco, they're definitely strong, but they're not like shackles, you know, like I'm definitely open to kind of exploring further other places or other things, and it just feels like there's some kind of momentum that's happening, just even relationally, and I feel so grateful. Like, this feels so right for the way that I feel like I should be spending my time, and that is so rare. I just had such a lovely day, and it was all just like school and being with my friends and talking about all sorts of stuff. I just feel so freaking lucky. Like, this is exactly what I wanted to be doing, or what it feels right to be doing. And I feel like I spent a lot of time over the last year and a bit feeling like my life was really out of balance, and this feels so right. I feel so grateful and so lucky, and I'm like doing this sort of dance of like, how can I keep going, and also like you can never like do the same thing twice, but you know, how can I keep going, or like how I don't want to just give this all up and have it disappear, you know, like how do I continue if what I'm doing now is sort of building a foundation for something else, which it feels like I could be, sort of like this just long arcing turn of my life towards something else, then like what am I building towards? And I don't think I've fully wrapped my head around that, and that's exciting to me. Now I have to go have a meeting, so I'm gonna do that, and I assume this is the end of this video because I'm going to Budapest tomorrow, so that will be fun. Yay! I know I seem tired, but I'm feeling happy and satisfied, so that's good. Bye bye, and hope you are having an awesome day. Bye!